Hello and welcome to another AIC video. Today we are going to be looking at a new laptop. So this is very similar to a previous laptop I looked at, which was an HP. I'll link that down in the description. But recently, AMD has stopped producing any of their quote-unquote A-series processors. And they have come out with their new Athlon series processors. And so all the A4s, A6s, A9s, gone. You can't buy a new laptop. Now, there's still some on the market, but that's old inventory. These are all brand new computers with a brand new chip. And so there's two versions of the Athlon. There is the Athlon Silver 3050U and the Gold 3150U. And the difference between them, a little bit of clock speed, a little bit more graphics on the Gold, and the Gold is hyper-threaded. What we have here is a Silver. And the reason why I picked this one specifically, well, is really twofold. One, I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot more common and a lot cheaper. And two, it competes more with the lower end Intel Celeron 4020 CPU. And so there's the 4120, which is a 4-core, 4-thread processor, but that comes in at really expensive prices. It's really hard to find, and so I haven't wanted to do a review on one because I haven't been able to find one for what I felt was a reasonable price. I have a feeling that the Athlon Gold is kind of going to be the same. 2-core, 4-thread processor, better graphics, but by the time you pay the extra for it, you're really starting to push into a price range that you would find more similar to like a Ryzen 3 or Core i3 processor. So kind of a much bigger step up than these very inexpensive. So I picked this one up. I did find it for $230 on Amazon. Prices right now are all over the place for laptops because of COVID, because of kids doing school from home and stuff. Prices are kind of all over the place, but it's November. We're hitting Black Friday sales, and so I really wanted to get in a couple laptops. I have another one coming, and I have my IdeaPad with the Celeron, and I really wanted to compare the different levels for Black Friday sales, because this could easily be a doorbuster at $150 or $200 at a lot of stores, especially like Best Buy, Walmart, places like that. And so we are going to be reviewing the laptop, but our main focus is that CPU, because the CPU is going to perform more or less the same in different laptops, especially with graphics, things like that. So let's go ahead. I've already opened it up. Now, opening this up is not necessary for the faint of heart. Not because the screws are necessarily hard. There's 8 screws total, 6 of this larger size, and 2 of this smaller size. The problem comes down to the 2 smaller ones go in 2 little holes here along the front. 2 of the larger ones go here and here, but the other 4, 1 is here and 3 are under here, and these are covered up by these rubber strips. So these are your feet. I was able to get the back one off without too much issue, but the front one did not want to come off, and I really struggled to get it to come out. So I'm going to have to find a double-sided tape, take this off, and put this back in with a new piece of double-sided tape. So you don't want to take this apart unless you're willing to reaffix these with new tape. But we've gotten it off. Just a small Phillips head screwdriver and my ever trusty gift card. This was like a $50 gift card for buying some tires. I find these to work really well. You can see I've used it a ton. Its corners are really worn, but it works really well for something like this. Go ahead and take the back off. Now, first thing you'll notice on here is it does have a fan. So one thing with some of those other processors, the older A-series, the A4 and most of the A6s, they were passively cooled. Didn't need a fan. Same with the Celerons. So the N4020, I believe, is a 6-watt processor, and this is a 15-watt processor, and it does require active cooling. But the great thing about these is, just look, we have not 1, but 2 memory slots. We have a full-size NVMe SSD. Let's bring this up here to see what it is. I can see from here it's a SanDisk. Trying to look through the camera, and I don't see the model number. I think it's going to be covered up by the HP sticker. But that is an NVMe SSD. So we can have up to 32 gigs of RAM in this if we wanted to, which is way overkill for a processor like this, honestly. It has 4 currently. I have another DIMM, 4 gig DIMM. We're going to upgrade this to 8 because why not? We're already in here. We have the battery here, but you see here there's a 2.5-inch drive bay, and right here is the little connector that you could have an additional hard drive. So we can have a 128 gig boot SSD and throw a really cheap 1 terabyte hard drive, or like if you have an old 500 gig 2.5-inch SSD in here, there you go. Probably want to keep it to like a 7 mil size, thickness and not a 9 mil. I don't think this is thick enough for a 9 mil. Also looking on here, this is the back plate. So looking on here, I'm going to guess that you're also going to need to cut this stuff out, because I believe this is not going to allow for the hard drive to fit. So probably going to need to cut this out, but you shouldn't have any problems. You're just taking a knife or a Dremel in 2 seconds, you'll get that out. Probably more than 2 seconds, but you understand what I'm saying. I won't take hardly any time to cut this out and put a hard drive or SSD here in addition to the boot drive. You can upgrade the boot drive. You can also upgrade the wireless, the Wi-Fi there. So I don't know necessarily why you would. I believe this is Wi-Fi 6 already. It might be Wi-Fi 5. I'll double check that when I actually go to benchmark the system, what Wi-Fi we have in here. You have a fan. The heatsink is actually surprisingly beefy for the size of computer it is. So we'll definitely be checking temperatures on this, see where those temperatures sit. As far as ports, well, next thing, speakers. So the speakers are going to be upward firing. There's one that's the right and the left, and they have these kind of big sound chambers. So I'm expecting there to be pretty decent sound on these. Again, I haven't even powered on. This literally just showed up about 30 minutes ago from Amazon. Here along the right side, get the camera to focus if it wants to. There we go. This is going to be our charging port, HDMI, 2 USB Type A's, and a USB Type C, headphone, microphone jack. So most of our action is going to be here on the right hand side. Flip that puppy over. And on this side, we just have an SD. So it has a full-size SD card reader. This is, so there's the port for that. Camera doesn't want to focus. All right. There we go. So that's the full size. Obviously, it'd be over here, covering that up. So pretty good expansion. It is a 14-inch laptop. It does have a 1366 by 768 screen. I would have liked to have seen a 1920 by 1080, and that might be an option. This is just the first one I found in the price range I'm willing to spend on this kind of computer. So definitely something that we're going to keep an eye out for. If I see one of those come up for market and I can buy it ahead of Black Friday, I definitely will. But again, this is a focus on the CPU, not necessarily the computer itself. So anyways, that's just showing you the hardware. Definitely look forward to videos coming up pretty soon, actually doing some benchmarks and testing with this. We're going to do some comparisons to the dual-core Celeron processor that it definitely competes price-wise with. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, anything specific you'd like me to see me test out on these, definitely let me know in that comment section down below. The more information I get from you guys, the better I can test these systems. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.